The transformation of a murderer into a sage is one of the most profound stories in the life of Gautama Buddha, and it highlights the Buddha's power of compassion, the transformative potential of Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha, and the ability of individuals to change and attain enlightenment, regardless of their past actions. The story is often referred to in Buddhist texts as the tale of Angulimala, the notorious bandit who became one of the Buddha's most devoted followers. 1. Who was Angulimala? Angulimala, whose name means finger garland, from the words anguli meaning finger and mala meaning garland, was a notorious bandit who lived during the time of the Buddha. His story is found in the Angulimala Sutta of the Majjhima Nikaya, one of the collections of Buddha's discourses. Before his encounter with the Buddha, Angulimala was a brutal murderer, feared by all. His past life is often described as one filled with violence and cruelty. The way he came to be a murderer is detailed in different versions of the story. 2. The story of Angulimala's birth and transformation into a murderer. Angulimala was born as a himsaka into a Brahmin family. He was initially a gentle and good-natured child, but his life took a tragic turn due to his teacher's jealousy. His teacher, a Brahmin, was envious of Ahimsaka's rapid learning and the praise he received for his skills. The teacher, feeling threatened, plotted to ruin Ahimsaka's life. One day, when the teacher invited Ahimsaka to undertake a difficult task, he told him to collect 1,000 fingers from the bodies of his victims as proof of his loyalty. The teacher manipulated Ahimsaka, making him believe that he would not be considered a complete disciple without completing this horrendous task. Thus, Ahimsaka, under the instruction of his teacher and blinded by the desire to please him, began to kill people. He would murder travelers and cut off their fingers, eventually assembling a garland made of 1,000 fingers, hence the name Angulimala, meaning garland of fingers. Over time, Angulimala became notorious for his killings and struck fear into the hearts of all who heard his name. He was said to have killed 999 people, and only one more person was needed to complete his grim collection. 3. The encounter with the Buddha. The turning point in Angulimala's life came when he set out to kill his final victim. By that time, news of his horrific deeds had spread far and wide, and people feared for their lives. Meanwhile, the Buddha was traveling through the region and came to know about Angulimala's reign of terror. The Buddha, with his profound compassion and wisdom, was determined to show Angulimala the possibility of redemption. As Angulimala ventured into the forest, the Buddha was walking calmly along the path. Angulimala saw the Buddha and decided to pursue him, thinking that this would be his last kill. However, despite Angulimala's great speed in chasing him, the Buddha appeared to move in a serene, unhurried manner, walking effortlessly, while Angulimala struggled to catch up. Eventually, Angulimala called out to the Buddha. "Stop, monk." To which the Buddha replied, "I have already stopped, Angulimala. It is you who are still running." This reply, paradoxical at first, had a profound impact on Angulimala. He stopped and, for the first time in his life, began to reflect on his actions. Angulimala asked the Buddha how it was possible that the Buddha could be at peace while he, Angulimala, was consumed with violence and hatred. The Buddha spoke to him with deep compassion and wisdom, saying that the true peace is found in stopping the cycle of violence and hatred, and that it is never too late to change. The Buddha told Angulimala that he had the power to transform, that he could free himself from the burden of his past actions by embracing the Dhamma, the teachings of the Buddha. The Buddha also pointed out that killing others led only to suffering, both for the victim and for the perpetrator. He emphasized the importance of ahimsa, non-violence, and the path of peace. 4. Angulimala's transformation. Angulimala was deeply moved by the Buddha's words and felt the weight of his sins. He felt immense guilt and remorse for his actions and realized that the path of violence and hatred would lead him only to further suffering. After this encounter, Angulimala asked the Buddha to guide him in finding a way to repent and to leave his life of crime behind. The Buddha, showing great compassion, accepted him and offered him the opportunity to become a monk. Angulimala, who had once been a terror to everyone, now became a disciple of the Buddha. He took refuge in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, the community of monks, and he received ordination as a bhikkhu, monk. Angulimala then embarked on a new life, following the teachings of the Buddha, focusing on ethical conduct, meditation, and wisdom. Despite his violent past, he gradually purified his mind and heart, practicing compassion and mindfulness. 5. The challenge of redemption and his life as a monk. Although Angulimala's transformation was genuine, the people of the area, who still feared him, were skeptical of his change. Some villagers saw him and continued to harbor fear and anger toward him due to his past actions. One day, while Angulimala was walking through a village, he was confronted by a group of villagers who were hostile toward him. They attacked him, believing that a murderer like him could never truly change. However, Angulimala responded with calmness, love, and humility, as the Buddha had taught him. He did not retaliate, and his peaceful demeanor began to soften the hearts of those around him. His practice of compassion and non-violence eventually won the respect of the villagers, who realized that the man they once feared was now a living example of redemption. 6. Angulimala's final days and attainment of enlightenment. As Angulimala progressed on his path as a monk, his inner transformation continued. He diligently practiced the Noble Eightfold Path: right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration, and his mind became more peaceful and pure. Eventually, Angulimala attained arahantship, the state of an enlightened being, free from the cycle of birth and death, samsara. In his final moments, Angulimala passed away, attaining parinirvana, the final passing away of an enlightened being. He had become an arahant, a fully awakened being, and was free from the bondage of his past life as a murderer. His story became a powerful teaching for others, demonstrating that no one is beyond redemption, and that the Dharma has the power to transform even the most violent of hearts. 7. Lessons from Angulimala's story. The story of Angulimala teaches several profound lessons. Redemption is possible. Angulimala's transformation from a ruthless murderer to an arahant illustrates the power of the Buddha's teachings to transform even the most corrupt or violent individuals. Compassion and forgiveness. The Buddha's unwavering compassion for Angulimala, despite his past, is a key example of the transformative power of love and kindness. The potential for change. The story reinforces the idea that all beings have the potential for enlightenment, regardless of their past actions or mistakes. It emphasizes the concept of karma, action, and the ability to change one's destiny by following the path of Dharma. The power of mindfulness and meditation. Angulimala's success in his transformation came from adopting the Buddha's teachings on meditation, mindfulness, and ethical conduct. These tools helped him to purify his mind and achieve liberation. The importance of the community. Angulimala's eventual acceptance into the Sangha and the support he received from the Buddhist community played a crucial role in his transformation. 8. Conclusion. The transformation of Angulimala from a feared murderer into a sage and arahant is one of the most powerful stories of redemption in Buddhist teachings. It exemplifies the Buddha's belief that no one is beyond redemption, and that through mindfulness, compassion, and ethical living, any individual can transform their life, no matter how dark their past may have been. Angulimala's story serves as a reminder of the potential for change within all beings and the transformative power of the Buddha's teachings.